Owen from Paladin. I wanted to just make sure everybody can see me, hear me. If you wouldn't mind raising your hands, it's just kind of a ritual that we do, just make sure. Thank you, Nancy. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it. All right. So we're going to talk about something today that I am very excited about, because any time that I find a different way to do something in Paladin that I think of that can be of a benefit to our clients, I make sure to share that with everybody. And this is one of those things. So before we get going here, again, a quick introduction. Charles Owen from Paladin. I have Chad Klein, who's also online here with us. He's actually monitoring your text messages. So if you wanted to send in a question, feel free to do that. He'll answer it on the phone right here for you. And this will be recorded. It is recorded right now, actually, and it will be pushed up to our website in the next 24 to 48 hours, where you'll be able to view it again or have other people watch it, or if you have to run out or you get distracted for whatever reason, you can come back to it later. So that's a good thing. And then, so let's go ahead. So the topic today is on building a sale list and leveraging the RF gun to do that. So right now when you build a sale list, you've got to go in and you typically type information into the sale list one by one by one, and it's just whatever, whether it's random items or not. A sale list is where you identify individual products to be on the sale list, not where you do a blanket of products like this isn't a full class or a subclass or department or supplier. It has very specific use, and it's looking for items that you want to put on sale. So after the holidays, even before the holidays, is a good time to begin sales. And what you can do is you can really help clean house by taking the RF gun and walking around your store and scanning items, and then having those items go directly into the sale list. So we're going to show you how to do that today. It's kind of an intermediate subject matter, intermediate to advanced. It's not that difficult, really, not that complex, but we will we'll go ahead and walk you through all of the steps to try to make it as simple and easy as possible. If you're not versed in Excel, all you need to do is remove a couple of column headers and put some prices in. It's not that big of a deal. And we're able to, in the solution, we're utilizing an import feature in the sale list to help facilitate this. So what are we doing today? So let's talk about our goals. I'm going to have a quick slide on that. Setting some expectations about who this might apply to and how you might benefit from it. Getting through the process, we'll take you through the process one by one, and then a step-by-step procedure. And then I'll actually go into the application to show you how to do it. Again, if I go too fast, you can pull it up later, hit pause, do your thing, and then go back to the tape if you like. So let's look at the goals. So the goals of this particular webinar are or the goals of this particular topic matter that we're talking about, is to randomly pick items to place on sale. That's just by walking through your store and randomly picking items that you want to include in a sale list. All right. Then you automate the sale creation process by leveraging the RF gun and the import feature in the sale list, and using the RF gun to eliminate manual input is really what we're trying to do. So we're trying to very quickly create a sale of items from just walking the store. Setting expectations. So this is a great solution if you have a problem. It isn't if you don't have a problem. If you aren't in the habit of randomly picking items to put on sale, or you don't do sale lists very much, you should probably reconsider that and do more sales to get more business. But it is a workaround solution. This is not something that was designed for. It doesn't need to be. It's pretty complete as it is. We could probably add another function to the RF gun that says create a sale list. But this is here, it's here now, and it's pretty darn simple to do. Prerequisites are that you want to put dozens of products in the same promotion. In the same promotion doesn't necessarily mean that they're the same discount. you can have different discounts across the board on all these individual items, and we'll talk about how to do that. And then you also need some experience with Microsoft Excel. So you got to be familiar with that solution somewhat, and I will take you through that and walk you through some of the cheat steps that we can do to help facilitate this. Advantages: it automates the sale list creation, eliminates any manual input, allows custom sale prices or a shared percent of discount across all items, and it's fairly straightforward and easy to learn. So what's the process? The process is fairly simple. I'm just going to kind of go over a high-level, broad spectrum of what the process is, and then we'll go into the step-by-step procedures, and then I'll go into the Paladin product and show you how it's applied. So we scan the sale items with the RF gun as if you were creating a purchase order. 2, we export the saved purchase order to Excel. In Excel, we remove some unnecessary columns and then determine the sales price, import that file into the sale list, and assign the sale list to a pricing plan in order to activate that sale list. Right? We all know that sale list does not actually invoke the actual sale to happen. It's the pricing plan that sale list is applied to that actually invokes the pricing, the sale list to make it work. Right? Now, just back to basics with sales and promotions. A sale list is dependent on pricing plans, but a pricing plan isn't dependent on sale list. Right? You can do a pricing plan that's very global in nature, that can be a certain percentage or discount or what have you, can be applied to a broad spectrum of products in the same class, same subclass, same department, and so on. Step-by-step procedure. All right, so the first thing is you turn on your RF gun and select number 3, build a working PO. I've got a little window here, which I just showed you on the screen, that shows the number 3, build a working PO. That's all you'll need, right? After that, walk your store, look for items that you want to put on sale. We've got, you just want to scan each item and you say, I want 1, scan another item, I want 1, and you're just kind of doing a mock order, but you're not really doing a PO. What we're going to do then is once we have these items, we've selected these items in our store to put on sale, we just go into Paladin, we go into the PO module, and we save that PO as literally sale_list or something that you can identify easily as, hey, this isn't a real PO, this is a sale list, okay? And then you go into the Maintain Data Viewer, you pull down the Purchase Orders tab, and you select Stored PO. You'll see your PO in there that you created, you'll select it, then you can go down and do an Export Inventory, which basically takes all those columns that are normally in the inventory exporter, and it takes that list of that you created as a PO, creates an Excel file. Then that Excel file, you very quickly modify it. You just strip out the columns you don't want. You only need 2 columns in there, part number and sale price. And then you basically set a price. Either can be, you can leverage Excel's powerful tools to go ahead and across the board you can say, hey, I want to do 10% discount. It'll just populate all the way down in that column all those items at a 10% discount. Or you can do any type of algorithm you want to affect the pricing column. Another thing you can do is just set it to 0. Let the pricing plan do all of the work. If you set it to 0 and then have a pricing plan point to that sale list, and then you tell the pricing plan, hey, I want to do 10% across the board on all these items. That way, if the price changes, it'll still be a set 10%. So either way works. It's really up to you. When you set them to 0, though, all the items in that sale list will follow a exact same promotion, whether it's 10% off, 15% off, 20% off, whatever it is. You can't have individual prices, as it's going to, if it sees a 0, it'll go to the inventory and say, what's the standard price on this product? And it'll look at the pricing plan and say, oh, okay, it was taking 15% off. And that's really all there is to it. well, then you basically, at the very last thing you do is you import that Excel file into a pricing plan. I'll show you how to do that. Or, yeah, into a sale list and then activate the pricing plan. So let's look at this. Oh, by the way, after you do that, you just, you're ready to sell, right? You're ready to sell at a discount. There are several different places you can go in the knowledge base for help on these different pieces of this pie here that we're creating. We talk about pricing plans and sale lists, how to operate that, how to use the RF terminal, how to create a pricing plan with subclasses, automatically calculate prices for sale items with zero prices, all the way down to the bottom, the webinar that actually talks more about and shows you through this medium how to operate and perform sales and promotions and trade discounts. All right, great. Now, let's jump into the product. First thing I will show you is that let's assume that we've got our PO. We've gone ahead and we've taken the RF gun. We've scanned the items. We've created a PO. So if I go to PO and I look at recall POs, I'll see a whole list of POs here. I can actually take a PO and I can call it up. Here's 5 items here, and then I can, when I go to close it, it's going to ask me, do you want to store the current purchase order? If you say yes, you can actually store it as, remember, I always put in like sale list so I know what it is, and I store it. Now if I go to recall PO, I'll see that I have one in here called a sale list somewhere as a stored purchase order. It's in here somewhere. I have a lot of them. Goodness. So you know what? We don't even have to worry about that because it is going to show up when we go into maintain. So once we have our PO, we saved it as a sale list. It's a stored purchase order. Now we go to maintain data viewer. This is where kind of all the part of the magic happens here. And we go to the heading purchase orders, and we look at the open POs, and we drop that type down, and we actually go into stored POs, and it shows all the stored POs that we have in the system. And we have a lot of them. And here's sale list right there. Now I'm going to select a different one because I want something that has some more meat in it. It's got more options, more products in it. So let's go with this one here, which is an autosave one. Doesn't really matter what you name it, what you call it. It doesn't matter. It's just going, every PO, every stored PO, and every active PO will be listed here. And once you get to the one that you want, then you just hit this button on the bottom that says Export Inventory. What does that do? It just takes all those items out of the inventory and out of that purchase order, and it puts it into an Excel spreadsheet. Right? And once we get our Excel spreadsheet, I can click on that. This is what we have. Now this export feature on the POs was built to mimic the export of the inventory. So every column in the inventory that we have that you can export and import will be found here, but we don't need all of these columns, not for a sale list. So the very first thing you need to do when you create this export inventory file, pardon me, is you just highlight the first one. I clicked on the B above that column, and I'm holding down my left mouse button, and I'm just going to scroll all the way across until I see PLVL price 1. And I'm going to stop right before it, right-click on that shaded area, and hit delete. I don't need that. So you notice my first 2 columns. The first one is part number. The second one is price. Now I've got all these other columns following the retail price that I don't need. So again, I'm going to click on, in this case, the C, hold down the left button, drag it all the way across, kind of let the system do the mouse movement for me. Just hold it at the end here. And I'll get somewhere around the end, go in the gray section, hit delete here. Now, this is all I need. I've got my file, my import file for the sale list. So in this case, I have my part numbers here, and I have my prices here. Now, this is the retail price. So obviously, if I imported this in the sales list, what's going to happen? It's just going to be at the retail price. So what I'll want to do here is I'll want to either change this price to a discounted price, either manually or using Excel to do it, or I can put 0 all the way down here if I want to apply the same amount of discount to all the items in this promotion. Now, I'm going to show you something here real quick. I'm going to use column C here. I'm going to click on C, row 2, and I'm going to go up here and use this auto sum feature. I'm going to go to auto sum, and I'm going to say sum of B2 times 0.08. That would be a 20% discount. And that's not quite right. What is it? Is it 0.8? That's it. So it's 0.8 is my calculation. And now I have a new price of $3.43 instead of $4.29. That's a 20% discount. Just multiplying that particular field, that B2 cell, by the 0.8 amount. Now, without having to do this all the way down, I can just grab this little bottom right-hand corner. It's one of the tricks in Excel. Hold the left mouse key and drag it all the way down to the bottom. Let go. And now it's mimicked or duplicated that discount all the way down in this column. Now, I can't use this third column because, number one, it's a calculation field. It is a formula field. It is not a text field. So what I will have to do if I want to use this information is I highlight this entire section, do right-click, copy, and then I highlight column B, cells 2 through 13, right-click on that, and I say paste special, and I come down here where it says paste values only. And now it's pasted my values only. So if I click on them again, look, it's a value of $3.43. It no longer has that multiplier times 8 or 80%. Also notice what happened. My column C now discounted another 20%. Well, we don't need this column anymore. It's already, we're done with it. We can throw it out. Let's go ahead and delete it. So that was just a little Excel exercise to show you kind of a cheating way of going in and across the board setting fixed prices based on the same discount. Now you can achieve and accomplish the same thing by just putting zeros in. And then when you create the pricing plan, you can set the pricing plan to discount 20%. It will accomplish the exact same goal. All right. So depending on whether you want to do fixed prices or set a global discount promo, all of the items are going to be affected in the sale list because we're going to create a pricing plan that points to this sale list and this sale list only. All right, hopefully you got all this. Let's go ahead and save this file. I believe we can import Excel files, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save this file as, let's see, I'm just going to save it on my desktop, and I'll just save it as webinar sale list.xlsx, save it, and now I've got my file. I'll go ahead and close it, and now at this point I'll need to go into file setup, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and import that sale list from the Excel file into a sale list. So I go to File, Setup, Sale List. In here, all I need to do is go to New. I'll type New. I'll just type Webinar Sale List. And it doesn't have to be the same name as the file. I'm just coming up with some names that I can remember where they're at. call it ID. Let's see, ID, the last ID in here was 248, so this could be 249. It's just a random number, or you can say, you know what, I'm going to start at 4,000 for my sale list. That's all right. And now we hit this import button. All right, once we hit the import button, it's going to come up and say, where do you want to import it from? And where do we put it? We put it on the desktop. And I called it, now it looks like, and I was wrong, it will not take an Excel document. Don't worry, that's easy enough to solve. So it's looking for just a text file. So apparently it can just take a text file. Not a problem. So we're going to go ahead and not save this. And I'm going to do this again, but the first thing I'm going to do is call up that particular file. So we're going to go File, Excel. Now this is very simple to do. We just go to our webinar sale list and we're going to do File, Save As. All right, so this is one thing I didn't anticipate, which isn't a problem. We're going to browse. We're going to go to Desktop again. And now, underneath the file name, where it says, has an extension .xlsx, we're going to drop this down here under the bottom where it says Save As Type, and we're going to save it as a text file. So there's one down here that says tab delimited.txt file. That's what we're going to save it as. So we hit Save. Some features in your workbook might be lost. Yeah, because it's tab delimited. It's not an Excel format. That's fine. Do you want to keep this format? Yes. Now I can close the document, and it's going to say, hey, do you want to save it again as an XLS? And I'm going to say, no, I don't want to save it as an Excel. So I say, don't save. I've already saved it. I don't need to save it again. Let's go back to where we were. So I go File, Setup. Under there, we have a tab called Sale List. Again, we're going to go New, Webinar Sale List. I'll create it as ID 4000, same as before. And then I can go to Import. And now if I go to Desktop, I'll see my webinar sale list.txt file here. It wasn't showing up before because it was an Excel file. And apparently, unbeknownst to me, it will only accept a text file, not an Excel file in the sale list. It's not a problem. Very simple, as we demonstrated. So I'll hit Open. It says sale list is complete. Really? That's interesting because I don't see a sale list here. So what happened? So this is perfect, guys, because this is probably what's going to happen anytime I would do this in public's view. So let's see what happened. Let's try to figure it out. So I'm going to get out of this, go back in just to see if there's some issue with the sale list not needing to be refreshed. Yeah, it didn't actually pull in. So let's try that again. And I think the issue might be that I'm using not real software here. I'm using a super advanced version with all types of things. And occasionally when we do this, we run into issues like this. It says sale list imported complete. Ah, there it is. Okay. Don't know why it didn't happen the first time. I probably hit something wrong, but bottom line is we've got it in there now. So we've got it in there with all the prices that we had set. There's the Stemcaster at $3.43 and so on. And now I've got my sale list. So now that I have my sale list, does this mean that this item is going to come up with that sale list? No, it will not. Remember I told you a sale list is dependent on a pricing plan. So we built this cool little feature in the sale list where you don't have to go out and go to pricing plan and reinvent the wheel here. You can right from here say, hey, let's create a pricing plan for this. And what it does is it populates that sale list range, 4,000 to 4,000. That's the ID we're looking for that we created for this sale list. Remember, I used 4,000 because I just wanted to use a random number. But you can only use a sale list ID that hasn't been taken already, right? And they go up into the millions, so don't worry. So if now I just need to create a new name. So it's up here, VPNet name. So I'm just going to say web sale list. That's what I'll call it. I'm going to apply this to all transactions. Now we have an opportunity not to apply it to all transactions. What happens then? If you don't apply it to all transactions, is it a sale list? Is it a promotion? No, it becomes a trade discount. Then you'll have to go into, in order to invoke that pricing plan, you'll need to go into specific customer records and bring that pricing plan in or bring that trade discount and apply it to specific individuals or companies. All right. However, I'm going to apply it to all transactions so it happens across the board. Right? Notice it has my sale list and everything's done for me. All I have to do is hit save. So all I really need to do is hit create a pricing plan, create a name for it, it's done. Right? So now if we save that, it's all done. So if we go down, there's the web sale list right here, and we're good to go. So I'm going to go back in that sale list and just do a quick look-see. Make sure I have a part number here that I can use as an example. So we have 450, 477. All right, and we have 149, 6231. All right. Now at checkout here, so we'll go into starting fresh, invoice and quote. Part number, we're going to put in 149. 6231, and it should be blue and be at 343. There it is. So I've created a pricing plan using and referencing a sale list that I created using the importer that I created by using the RF gun and the saving as a purchase order. Now, we've gone over this. We've been going through this for 28 minutes now. I've got a couple of more minutes before we terminate the call, the webinar. But this isn't that difficult. Yes, you know, I took a long time to explain it, to talk through it. But really, creating an RF or using the RF gun to create a purchase order, saving that purchase order as a stored PO, going into the data viewer and pulling that purchase order, saving that as an Excel export, then going into the Excel file, removing those additional columns, setting your prices or put them at 0 either way, and then importing that into a sale list and creating a pricing plan. That's it. It's not that difficult. It's kind of a mouthful, but it's a way to get around having to take a notepad and walk your store and look at items you want to put on sale, then write them down on a card or a notepad, and then going back into the sale list and manually creating a sale list. So if you guys have any questions, fire away. I'll talk through. If we don't have any questions, I'll just tell you that this is recorded. It is going to be available. Next week at 9 a.m. on Tuesday Pacific time, we are going to have another webinar. It's going to talk about, I think it has to do with holiday sales. So it's somewhat related to what we're doing here. But again, the beauty of this is you can literally put hundreds of items on sale just by walking your store, creating a pricing plan, and presto, you're good to go. Any questions here? Chad, are you with me?
I'm with you. No questions so far.
Do you have any questions, or do you have anything to add, Chad, that I might have forgotten or missed? Or
no, I thought it looked real good. A lot of good stuff in Excel there, too. Liked it.
All right. Great. Well, I hope this is helpful for everybody. We thank you for your time and appreciate your attention as you've been here listening to this webinar. We try to do this to help educate our customers, become better customers, to become more self-sufficient. Things like this are not atypical for us to invent something. This is an invented feature. It's one of those undocumented features that I think can be quite useful for you guys. So hopefully you found it useful as well. Thank you again. There is going to be a quick survey that pops up at the end here with a couple of questions. We appreciate you answering those. And hope to see you next time. And have a great Thanksgiving. Happy holidays. And we'll see you next week after we stuff ourselves with turkey. Take care, guys.